Sure, my mic's, oh, there it is. Okay. Well, good evening and welcome to Universal Spirit Center. I'm Christine Thompson, one of the many practitioners here in our at our center. And so tonight, what I'd like to do is more of a restorative practice. Yeah. Oh, there it goes. Um, and so what I'd like to do is we're going to do some breathing together. And we're going to just welcome all of our parts here tonight. And then more breathing. We're going to do a body scan and more or less kind of like a somatic body experience. And then we'll do some stretching and some chair yoga, right? And then we'll have some quiet and a little bit of music, and that'll be our evening. So what I encourage for those of you who are at home, if you want to sit on a chair or lie down, it's great. And so how about we just take a really deep breath inside together. So, and if it feels really good to close your eyes and to put a hand on your heart, we're just going to breathe in and just be in the allowance of arriving here tonight. So we're inhaling and exhaling together. And so the invitation then this evening is just to already know that we're whole. And that this evening is a blessing already. And that we are willing to be willing to just practice being ourselves. So we can only do this right tonight. And in fact, we can only do it right every moment that we're here. And so, with our eyes closed, I just want you to know that every part of you is welcome here. The tired parts, all the busy parts that got us here tonight. If it's already been a super busy week and it's only Wednesday, if some of your parts are in fear, or they're frustrated, or they're just super busy in your head, know that all of that has a space and that all of you gets to be here. So we're going to breathe into that. So I'm so glad that we're here and that we're taking our moments to arrive. So there's no rushing. There's only the experience of that inhale and that exhale. And the room for what's happening in our bodies. So tonight, may you know that you are in the right and perfect place. May you know that all of you is welcomed here. That however we meet ourselves this evening is magnificent, it's glorious, it's part of just being a spiritual being, having this human experience as each of us is having here right now. that we can be with all of the spicy and the messy, and also have room for the fun and the joy and that fullness of life and being alive right now. So let's remember to breathe again. So we welcome the parts of us that come here seeking rest. And we welcome the parts of ourselves that are carrying grief and worry and all the things that we don't even have the language to name. Know that those parts are welcome here. And we welcome all the tender parts and the tears, all the healing that is taking place. It's all welcome here. Also, if there's any part of you that's just skeptical in being here or questions why you're here, all of that is so normal and it's okay. Just know that there's room for that as well. And hopefully you brought your curiosity with you. And so we breathe into that again. So I also want you to know that tonight, not only are we sacred, but that we are also a sanctuary for ourselves and the world. That this vessel that we have, this temple, that we are holy ground, and that the chairs and the ground that we're on is indeed here supporting us, knowing that we are this holy temple in this sacredness, that our breathing in and breathing out is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. So in just this blessing and thanksgiving for being here this evening, for everything that's going to be taking place, for just all the ways that we get to move about ourselves in this divine channel and vessel that we are, let's just thank it with love and thanksgiving. And together we say, and so it is. So what I'd like to do is we can leave our eyes shut, if that feels good. So we're going to move into what I like to call a nervous system regulation. And we're going to get anchored in ourselves and knowing that our breath, our hands, our feet, maybe it's also like the opening and closing of our eyes. Maybe it's the actual physical touching of the chair that we're on, the seat back, whatever that is, that this is your anchor. That you can come back to that over and over again if there's something that arises. That it's okay to open up your eyes. It's okay to move your neck or your head around. It's okay if you need to stand up. Just remember that you got you. And that the voice that is mine for this evening is something that is gentle and soothing. And that you can come back to it too. But knowing also that your voice that's inside is your guide. So listen to that. So our practice this evening is one of gentleness and tenderness and soothing. So whatever feels good in your body is what I invite you to do tonight. So we're going to start with just a breathing exercise, and we'll probably do, 6, 7, or 8 rounds. And we're going to breathe through our nose for 4 counts. We'll hold for 2. And then we'll gently exhale for 6 counts through our mouths. So we're going to move into that right now. So we're going to breathe in for 4 through our nose. 2, 3, 4. And we'll pause for 1, 2. And then we'll exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll breathe in again for 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll pause ever so slowly. And then we'll exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And however you would like to breathe, you can also do it that way too. So we'll breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll pause ever so slightly. And we'll breathe out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll pause. And we'll exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll breathe in through our noses for 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll pause. We'll exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll pause. We'll exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this will be our last round. So we'll breathe again for 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll pause. And we'll exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're just going to come back to just normal breathing at this point. And we're going to move in to a body scan. And remember, throughout the body scan, if you would like to open up your eyes and just check out the room for a moment, just make sure that you're safe in this space. I invite you to do that wherever you are. And if you want to look over one of your shoulders and just check out the space, and you want to look on the other side, and maybe there's other people in the room with you. Maybe you have a pet that's with you. Maybe your cat is curled up in your lap. If you want to give them some love, maybe your dog is right next to you. You look them in the eyes and you maybe give them a little rubbing on their ears or their bellies because they're already in their bodies. And so we can go back to closing our eyes if that feels well. And just knowing at any time throughout this body scan, coming back to that anchor point of maybe your hands or your feet or the chair itself. Maybe it's your breath. Please do that. This is where you get to take care of you. So we'll take a gentle tour of the body. And at any point, if any area is feeling too tender or activated, simply return your attention to your hands or your feet, that place that is your anchor. So we're going to begin with our feet. And we're not going to rush. So what do they feel like? Do you have shoes on or socks? Are you barefooted? What's that material feel like? Or if they're bare feet, is there air that's on them? Are they warm or cool? And what's that texture? Maybe it's you have leggings on like we do tonight. What's that feel like on your skin? The invitation to just be really curious as we move up the legs. And your shins. And your calves. And as you move up your legs onto your thighs and your hips, can you feel how much they're supporting you right now? And if you are noticing that you have any tension in your legs and your thighs and your hips, it's just a noticing, and you get to release them. You get to release that tension. Remember, there's nothing to force here. It's just the noticing of what's happening in your body. So how about as we move up from our hips and we move into our bellies? What does that feel like? Is it a little gurgly because you ate a little bit ago or had a beverage? Maybe it's really calm. Can you feel the air that you invite down there with your inhale and your exhale? And we're just breathing gently there and letting it go. And so next we're going to move into our chest and our heart space. Is there tenderness? How about all the love that you feel that's just commingling there with you. Can you envision the sun shining from your very center? The warmth of your being right there in your heart, in your chest. And if it feels really good and you want to put your hand on your heart, please do that. And what's that feel like when you put your arm, your hand on your heart space? And remember to be gentle with yourself. If there's anything that's coming up that feels heavy, or maybe even a little uncomfortable, remember to keep breathing into that. And so we're going to move next up into our shoulders and our neck and our jaw. And this is where we get to feel into, are my shoulders close to my ears? Can they relax some? Are you holding any tension in your neck and in your jaw? Does it feel good to breathe into those spaces? Can we soften the shoulders and our jaw and our neck? How about our mouths and our lips? Can we soften them too? And how about as we move up to our eyes and our eyebrows? Can we soften and relax into those spaces? And how about in moving up to our forehead and the top of our heads? What do those areas feel like? If there's any tension or tightness, can we just allow the softening there too? And now, how about a sense of our whole bodies? Are we breathing into and out of the whole field that is ourselves? We are this one unified field of awareness. And you are here and present and whole and scrumptious and yummy and so enough that the entirety of the universe is commingling in the entirety of you. That the universe itself is having a feast with you. It is feasting because of you. And can you imagine the universe with a smile on all of it because it is so touched by you, by your presence? This loving presence that you are. This blessing, this being, love itself. Mm. So given all of this yumminess that's happening right now, this feast, this communion with all of the universe and all of the divine itself with you, I'd like you to imagine, whether real or imagined, this place where you feel genuinely at ease and at peace, that you are calm, it could be right where you're sitting right now, or a particular part of a room that you're in, or a place that you've traveled to. It could be the ocean. It could be your feet in the sand. At the ocean or a lake. It could be in a mountain setting in a cabin. It could be in this luxurious field of flowers. Wherever that place of ease and comfort and peace is for you. And just really feel into that. And this place is also somewhere where you feel entirety with safety and grace. And you are just resting here with all of that, with all of you there. And can you feel your body relaxing more and more into that field? And maybe it's one part of you at a time that is settling. Maybe it's your neck or your shoulders or the loosening of your back. And you're feeling more calm in your belly. And you're feeling the air in your lungs deeper and richer. And that your hips and your pelvic region are more comfortable. That your legs and your feet have more space. And remember, if any part of you right now is uncomfortable or you're tight, that's okay too. And if you have to open your eyes and maybe look at your hands or your feet or stretch, please do that. So this feeling of just inviting in all of the parts of us that we called in as we started our evening together. You know, the tender and the grieving and the tired and the busy and the messy, and also the love and the joy and the being alive. And then all the parts of our bodies that we just got to be with as we did our scan together. Like that all gets to be here. That all just gets to be here. And if you're noticing that you have some chatter, that there's a part of you that's vying for your attention. That maybe you think you're not doing it right, or that you're not being tender enough with yourself. We're just getting to pay attention to them too, and say, you are welcome here as well. So for all the ways that we invite ourselves to be here, let's acknowledge our bodies and our minds and our thoughts and all the tender and the loving. All of those things. We're going to say thank you to all of it. Thank you for allowing all of us to be here. Just knowing that we're whole and we are these exquisite beings. That we absolutely, like the ground, that you have got you. That you have got you in all the ways. All the ways. And so we bless this part of our evening. We say thank you for all the ways that we just got to be here with our bodies and being with ourselves in our really calm and easy and safe places, knowing that we can return to them at any time. That we can return to our breathing, to our inhale and our exhale. And we're going to take a breath together, an inhale and a slow exhale out of our mouths. And I invite you to open your eyes and just, come back to the space that you're in. And we're going to move into just doing some gentle stretching. And we're going to use our chairs to do some gentle yoga. And also knowing that right now, if you just want to sit in your chairs and breathe, that is good too. And if our cats and our dogs are with us, knowing that they can do the work for us too, and their down dog or their down cat and their up cat and down cat, that all of that is here. So what I'd like to start with is just some simple neck stretches. So what we're going to do literally is just move our heads. It doesn't matter what side. We're just going to pick a side and we'll go from one side using our necks to our shoulders. And we'll just hold for a couple of breaths. And if you want to close your eyes during that, that's okay too. And we'll come back to center. And then we'll do the opposite chin to the opposite shoulder. And we'll hold that for a breath or two, and then we'll come back to center. And then we'll return to the one side. And we'll go back to center. And then we'll move to the other side. And we'll go back to the center. And then what we're going to do is do a gentle, like, pointing, facing our nose and our chin up to the ceiling. And then back down to center. And then we'll point our chin and our nose down at our chairs. And then we'll go back to center. And then we'll look up again. And we'll go back to center. And then we'll look down again. I'm not sure what all that is. Okay. That, my friends, is spirit working through our necks and our breathing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to think of our noses, and we're going to do little circles with our noses, whichever way you'd like to. Just little circles, just so we can get our necks warmed up. And then we're going to do the opposite way, little circles. Okay. So now that we have our neck sort of a little bit better than we started with, we're going to work on our shoulders. So what I invite you to do is just put your hands up like I am. I don't know what this pose is called, but what we're going to do is sort of close your hands, and then we're going to close our arms like this, and we'll come out again, and we'll close, and then open, and we'll close, and we'll open. We'll do that one more time. We'll close, and we'll open. And then staying here, what we'll do is we'll bend our arms at our shoulders, and we'll move our elbows out front, and we're going to put our hands out like so, and then we're going to touch our fingertips to our shoulders. We'll go out forward, and then touch our shoulders again, and then we'll go out forward, and then to our shoulders, and then we're going to go out like so, and then we'll almost do like a mountain pose with our palms facing each other. And if you can get your shoulders to move up sort of near your ears, like a shoulder shrug, we'll put them down again, and we'll go up again. We'll go down again. And then what we're going to do is put our hands back in front of us, and we're going to do like thumbs up. And then this is going to be sort of like a little shoulder roll where you kind of go thumbs down, and then thumbs up, and then thumbs down, and then thumbs up, and thumbs down, and then thumbs up. And then this is where we're going to kind of go back to our mountain pose. And we're going to do like a seated mountain pose where we'll have our palms facing each other and have our back straight. And then we'll point our chin and our nose up, like between our arms. And then we can put our arms back down again. And we'll do a mountain pose again. And look up between our arms. Remember to breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. And we'll put our arms down again. And if you want it to make it a little easier, you can scooch to the front of your chair. I forgot to tell you that, because I know it makes it easier for me to just to sit here. And we'll do another mountain pose together. So hands out forward. And we'll go up. And we'll let our arms go down again. And we'll do that one more time. So hands go up. Remember to breathe. And our hands will go down. And then what I'd like to do next is we'll transition into a seated twist. So whichever side you'd like to, but essentially it's demonstrate, and we'll twist like that. And we'll breathe. And then hands go up again. And then we'll twist. Remember to breathe. And we'll twist again. And if it only works where you want to do one hand on the chair, perfectly fine. And we'll twist again for the opposite. And we'll twist again. That's right. And we'll twist one more time. And then what we'll do is a seated fold just in our chairs, so we can have our hands down here, and we'll scoop them up. And you're going to hinge forward from your hips, not your back or your stomach. And we'll just go down slowly. And we'll just take some inhales and exhales with our hands down. And if it works better for you where you just have your hands on your knees as opposed to your feet, that's okay. And then as we go back up, we're going to slowly hinge again and essentially roll out our backs like one vertebrae at a time, where your head is like the last. And we'll take a breath. And we'll do that again with our hands up. And then we'll hinge forward. And we'll go back up one vertebrae at a time. How about we do that 2 more times? So hands are up. And we'll hinge forward. And we'll roll up slowly. Where our head and our neck is the last thing up. And then we'll do it one more time. And we'll hinge slowly forward. And we'll slowly roll up. And the last little pose that we'll do as we're seated is we'll open up our little hearts and our chest. So if you want to put your hands behind your head, and sort of like a butterfly that we are, we're just going to breathe in here. Remember to relax your back and your shoulders. Feel that strong belly. And if it also works for you where you want to tilt your head up a little bit and you open your wings a tiny bit more. We'll do 2 more breaths here. So we'll sort of close our wings just a little bit. We'll do a couple breaths just like that. And then our wings open again. Remember to relax your back and your shoulders. Imagine your chest going forward just slightly. And if your wings come out a little bit more. All right, we'll close our wings and we'll do that one more time. Remember to keep breathing. All right, we'll open our wings once more. All right, we'll close down our wings and you can put your hands down. And I'm just looking at our time. So let's just thank our bodies right now for that. For all the ways that we got to move our heads and our neck and our arms and our fingers and our trunks and our backs and our wings. So what I'd like to do is Gina's going to turn on some music for 5 minutes, and we're going to just be with our breath. And so I just invite you again to just get comfortable where you're at in your chair. Maybe for those of you who are at home, you're on the floor or on your bed. So Gina's going to play the music. Just take an inhale and an exhale together. So we close this time together with gratitude for each of us, for just all the courage it took to just be here this evening, to slow down, to go inward, to be in community with each other. So may you carry what is useful from our time and leave behind what you no longer need. May your body remember this feeling of ease. And may it become easier and easier to return to it. As you move into the rest of your evening, may you be gentle with yourself. If something was stirred tonight that needs tending, please honor it. Get your rest and water, something really good to eat, especially a kind word to yourself, or a conversation with somebody that you trust. I would imagine that you're not the same person than when you arrived. Something has shifted, even slightly, and that is more than enough. So as we close our time and our circle together, I know that our time has been blessed, it has been loved, it has been supported, especially by Gino. And so I appreciate all of you that are here this evening and everyone that is joining online and who will see this later. That this is a feast, that this is sacred, that this is sanctuary, that what we did here tonight is needed and necessary. So with lots of love and peace and ease, and maybe a little bit less messy and spicy, I say thank you. And please join me in this knowing as we anchor together. And so it is. Thank you, everyone. Oh, you're welcome.